Hey guys, we're going to talk about different ways to pull honey. It's that time of year. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I almost wish we didn't have to do it, but we do, and it brings in some revenue. So there's multiple ways of doing it. One of them that I don't have and won't be showing is a fume board, just because I don't have one. I may put one together this year and play with it a little bit. So first method we're going to go over here is just pulling them out, getting the bees off of them and transferring them to another box and getting it out of here. So just a few bees up here on the honey. Going to shake them a little bit, bang them. If you want to, you can use a brush. Brush them off there, move them to another box. Usually I can just bang off enough of them. If you take too long doing it, you'll add bees in the box you're putting them into, because bees will show up to try to get it back. So, but if you run it fast enough, usually there aren't that many bees on the frames that you've shaken. So it's time. It's the very end of August. I'd like to have this stuff pulled earlier, but I didn't have my new honey room set up, place to put them, so they might as well stay on the bees. And these supers with the frames going the wrong direction take a little more time because there's a lot more frames in here. The guy I got them from had designed them for queen mating, and so he's got dividers in the box where he would divide this into threes, so he could make his mating nukes in them. And they're not bad. They're a lot bigger than those old styrofoam things. There's a lot more room for a queen to do her thing, but they're kind of a pain too, because you have to pull the queen from it, and I'm trying not to do that. I want my queens to stay on frames that they're laying on and move right into a box. When I requeen, I want to do it with the whole nuke, whatever brood she's got and everything. So there you go. I just transferred that whole box. Now I'm just going to carry it over here, put it on a lid. So I'll show you guys that. I've just got a upturned lid that it sets on and a lid that sets on top, and so that'll keep most of the bees out. Now I pulled some at another yard today, but I couldn't find my camera, and I actually took up a spray bottle, pump sprayer, with some liquid smoke and bleach water concoction, so I would spray that as soon as I got it over here, and it seemed to really help keep the robbing down. There weren't near as many bees trying to get on it. So anyway, we will move on to the next system for pulling honey, and that's going to be a bee escape. So I built these bee escapes. They've got just a bit of a maze that they have to go through to get out, and it makes it harder for them to get back in. I put a notch in it so they can see daylight when they get down in there and help pull them out. I also use these as double screen boards. When I do that, I plug these holes with steel wool, so I want to make sure those holes are clear. I want to make sure that this hasn't filled up with spider webs where they can't move through it. And when I use it as a double screen board, it gets another small screen right here. I need to make sure that's off. If those things aren't taken care of, the bees can't get through it. And it's a horrible mistake to come back a few days later and find piles of dead bees in the bottom down here because they couldn't get out. So, you know, check those things and make sure that they're good. So there's a couple of problems with these. I'm going to run over and put the lid on that other one real quick. Alright, so one of the problems with this system of using the escape board is you have to come through on one day and lift all the honey boxes up to put the escape board under them. So you got to take the honey box off, set it down. Shouldn't need the queen excluder anymore. Then I have to put this down, lift the honey super back up on it. Like so. Alright, one of the other problems with this is if it's got a warp in it right here, where bees can get in and out, or you've got a gap up here anywhere where bees can get in, as soon as the bees vacate this to go back into their colony, this is going to get robbed out. So if your equipment isn't really nice and tight, you have to tape all these joints. I'd like to actually have some bags, the screen bags like we use when we're transporting, and then we use screen tarps. I'd like to have some bags that I could, you know, put together that would just slide right over the top and then close down here at the bottom with a ratchet strap or a bungee cord, so the bees couldn't access and get in to rob anything. But those are things you have to be concerned about with that system. And then you have to come back in a few days and take all the honey supers back off again, and you know, pull the honey. So it's more work than the method I just did. But if you got a lot of them to do, you know, shaking all the bees off every one of them and transferring them to different boxes is a pain. So I picked up this little blower tool off Amazon for, I don't know, 55 or 60 bucks. Takes a DeWalt battery. Pretty good little blower. So there's another way to do it, and this is what I tried this morning with some. I will set one up here and show you how that works. Try to get as many bees down out of there as I can to start with a little smoke. You're going to pull the box, stand it up on its end, and then we're going to blow it in between all the cracks. doesn't do too bad if everything is nice and clean, but the bees are trying to get right back in here as soon as they get out. And if you've got really dirty stuff, or boxes that have been on a long time, or they've drawn comb in between and tied some together, you got to pry it all apart to get them to blow out of there. If they're nice clean stuff that you just put on before clover and then you pull it after clover, they'll probably work better. But it does not seem to get them out of there, completely. There's some hanging on. I found if I blow from 2 different directions that it does work better. But I think it's a good backup. If they don't all get out of an escape board, you can go ahead and blow them out, but I don't think I'm going to be just blowing them all. The other thing is it gets them in the air, pisses them off, and it starts robbing, right? You got a lot of bees now flying around looking for the honey they were just on. So anyway, there's just a couple methods you